Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Noah back again with another video, and in today's video it's going to be another controversial topic, another controversial subject that I'm going to talk about. Wow, back-to-back videos on controversial topics. That's a first for me, I feel like. But anyways, yeah, you can call it, a conspiracy theory, whatever. But honestly, in my opinion, I feel like someone created that term to make, for us to not think outside of the box, you know what I mean? So it's like, so we have a systematic way of thinking, everybody thinks that this, and this happens, but because if we think outside the box and we're looked at crazy, or if we, if we partake in, things that not a lot of people do, we're considered weird, right? That's kind of what they want you to think. But this video, I'm going to go over 5 things that they don't want you to know. They, meaning, you could say the government, the elite group of forces, honestly, really, whoever controls what we see on TV and what is shown through social media. Those people, if they're people, I have different conspiracy theories about that. But so yeah, let's just jump right into it, to be honest. I have them all written down right here in my little notebook right here. Yeah, so number one is that we are spiritual beings. What do I mean by this? We are much more than this human body. We embody eternal life, and if they, if they knew that we found this out, then, we would ultimately be able to realize that, this human body doesn't matter. But it's like they want you to think that it does. Yeah, it kind of leads me to number 2. We don't really need the hospital. There's been proven cases that you can heal yourself through sound therapy, through hypnotherapy, through meditation. Meditation is a great way to build your immune system. They don't want you to know that because they make money off of you going to the hospital, right? It's like I've never taken one prescription drug in my entire life. That's thanks to my religion, who I grew up, like the religion that I grew up to be in, Christian Scientists, which is a branch of Christianity. It's pretty much taking the science of the Bible, so not taking it in a literal form. It's more of a metaphysical form. And through this religion, it's, we are not really allowed to take prescription drugs or drugs of any type of sort, to be honest. And so yeah, because of that, I've never taken one prescription drug in my life. I've only been to the hospital like twice, or like maybe I only remember going to the hospital like once. Maybe it's been like 2 or 3 times, but yeah, so we don't really need the hospital. If we're taking care of our body, if we feel good constantly, that's another thing. Our health, a lot of the times, translates to how we're feeling. Like, if we're not feeling super well, then like, if we're not feeling well emotionally, like in terms of being happy and just grateful for the moment, then we're gonna experience, different health situations that we'd be like, where did I even get this from, right? Because think about it, your body has like over like 1 trillion cells, right? Like, how is it possible that one of those cells just gets cancer randomly and then just spreads? It's like, really think about that. It's like, how would that happen? it would, like, in my opinion, it's like how you feel, to be honest. But yeah, so we don't really need the hospital. And a lot of people, when they say this, who don't really like resonate with me, they're gonna be like, fuck you, man. Like, my mom went to my parents have been in the hospital for 15 years, right? But it's like, I know people, like, people have talked to me and shared stories of, like, this one guy. I work at a restaurant type environment, and this one guy told me, he was talking to me about, because I noticed this crystal, and I was like, yo, dude, like, what, like, crystal is that? And he told me, because as you can see, you can call me a crystal boy, but, like, I just, like, I'm really fascinated with it. And we proceeded to talk, and he told me that his aunt was a energy healer, meaning that she was able to heal people through energy work. And he told me that his uncle had sclerosis or something like that, which is like a back issue. And she said that she was able to completely heal him without going to the hospital or doing any type of modern medicine. So yeah, it's like, you don't really need, if you're eating, it's all about how you're eating, how you're feeling, and how you're acting, to be honest. And exercise is also really important. But so yeah, that's number 2. Number 3 is gonna be death. And what do I mean when I say death? How do you feel about death? I feel like growing up, they showcase death as if, like, it's such a scary thing, and that we should be scared to die. This fear-based thinking, it limits us in terms of the capabilities that we are able to achieve, meaning we don't want to take risks because we don't want to die. I have a friend who he's an adrenaline junkie, so he does things like off of, like, adrenaline, and some of the stuff that he does is very risky. It's like he could get in, like, really, like, he told me he likes to do, like, donuts, or like, donuts is such a dangerous thing, but he told me that he just he used to, like, drag race on the street. It's like, and he just does stuff like off of adrenaline and stuff. And his motto is like, we're only here for a short period of time, so it's like, why not just do what you want to? And I feel the same way. But and obviously that's not to say do some, like, stupid shit and, like, go jump off, like, a building, right? Like, because you're probably gonna die. But I'm just saying that this belief of death that has been ingrained into our subconscious belief system, it can limit us from achieving our goals because we don't want to take risks, or even experience life because we don't want to take risks, right? And this is something that I'm still learning. I'm still afraid to die, to some extent. I've gotten over it, like, a little bit, but I mean, I would say for the most part I've gotten over the fear of death. But it's something that we shouldn't fear, because when we die, we transcend into a different reality. You know what I mean? So it's like, our energy can never be created energy can never be created nor destroyed, only transferred. Meaning that when we die, we still live on. We're eternal spiritual beings. That, you know what I mean? Living a temporary human experience. That means we're only here for a certain amount of time before we transcend on and we move on. Have you ever heard of the term pass on or pass away? That just means that they pass away from this reality, from this physical, realm. When my father died when I was 7, if you guys don't know, but it took me, a while to get over his death, because he was like really important to me. Like, I loved him, and I would have dreams about him, right? And these dreams would be very symbolic, but I didn't really understand the concept. Because when I would see him in my dreams, and I would just get like sad, you know, and wish that he was here. But he was actually trying to tell me a message, you know, and that message was that everything's gonna be okay, and to not worry about him dying, because he's okay. And I knew that as a kid, but I didn't really know what it meant psychologically. But yeah, like he wouldn't want me to be afraid of death, and he wouldn't want me to be upset that he's gone. That's pretty much what I took from it nowadays, you know. But so yeah, you know, it's kind of not really talked about that much, but you don't really have to be afraid of death. And when I say don't be afraid of death, that doesn't mean jump off a building or do some dumb shit like I was talking about earlier. You know, it just means live life to the fullest, really. And don't be afraid to take risks, you know, whether that's career-wise or you just want to have fun, you know. Yeah, so moving on to my fourth point, right? The news is bad for our mental state. Now, you're probably wondering why I took that huge pause. It's because, what do you think when I say that? The news is bad for your mental state, for your mental health. You're probably thinking, well, like how though? Or like, I mean, I guess like some of it's negative, right? But it's like, think about it. When do you ever see something positive on the news? Like 90% of the news is negative. And have you ever wondered why? Have you ever questioned like, why isn't there anything good ever that shows up on the news? It's because they want to keep us in a state of fear. And when I say us, I mean the collective consciousness, aka you could say the United States, whatever. Just everybody, you know, they want to keep people who watch the news in a state of fear, you know, because when we're in a state of fear, we act upon reactions, upon our emotions, meaning that it's easier for us to control, or it's easier for them to control us, because we're in a state of fear, you know, we're doing everything off of reaction, right? When COVID-19 happened, the reaction from the majority of the population was fear. I wasn't scared. You know what I mean? I knew everything was going to be all right. My mom recently got tested for COVID, and she didn't have COVID. But the thing is, the thing that they don't want you to know, and that they don't tell you on the news, is that COVID actually originated from a wet market in Asia. You know, meaning they were slaughtering fucking animals, right? But they wouldn't tell you that on the news. You know, they wouldn't tell you that on the news. And a lot of these viruses that come up, it's from animal farming, you know, it's animal agriculture. This stuff is killing not only our environment, but literally doing damage to our health as human beings. Shout out to all my vegans out there. But yeah, so getting back to my original point, the news is bad for your mental state, because if you continuously watch the news, you're going to be in a state of fear. You're going to be in a state of, why is this happening? You know, you're not going to focus on the good, and you know, it's ultimately not going to make you grateful. And this goes with social media as well. I'm not saying social media is a bad thing. Honestly, I'm not really saying that the news is a bad thing either. I'm just saying, don't take everything that you see on the news seriously, because you never know what's going on, you know. It's like, yeah, I could get into that in a whole nother video. But yeah, with social media, right, I think it's a great tool. I think it's better to be more of a producer than a consumer, just for the fact that, you know, you can be able to make your own content and to share your truth, besides, instead of, you know, going into somebody else's truth, right? But, so yeah, let me just say this, guys, this is all my opinion. Like, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, That's completely 100% fine. I should have started out with saying that, but this is my opinion, right? This is only what I believe. So if you have a different opinion, that's great. Wonderful. You know, it doesn't really matter to me. If you agree with me, great. But this is all my opinion at the end of the day. So you don't have to take this as fact. You don't have to be like, oh, you're wrong. I'm wrong to you. That's fine. You know, it's like, I accept that this is my opinion, and maybe I am wrong, but this is only my opinion. This is what I think. So if you don't agree with it, then I'm completely 100% okay with that. Let me know if you don't agree. But yeah, moving on to the fifth thing. The fifth thing that they don't want you to know. And this is that we are all one consciousness, right? I talked about this a little bit earlier in my video, but we are all one consciousness, meaning we are all interconnected. Not just with humans, but with all life. We're all interconnected. So, meaning like we're all one consciousness, meaning that we are all technically related. Technically, I'm not saying that we are related, obviously, but yeah, so meaning that we are all considered brothers and sisters. And with this, you know, they don't want us to know this, because if we knew this, then we wouldn't truly be divided. You know, we divide each other based on the certain labels that we give to another person. It's like, you know, you're a part of the Democratic Party, so I don't agree with you, or I have something against you. Or you're a part of the Republican Party, you know, how can you view this, right? And some of you are saying, I'm related to Donald Trump on a deep level. Yeah, you are, you know, and I am too. And I'm related to everybody watching this video. So hello, brothers and sisters. But yeah, if they ultimately knew that if they wanted us to know that we were one consciousness, then they would show it on TV more, and they wouldn't make films and stuff of us being separate from each other, you know, because we're not, and it's hard to see that. I get that, you know, it's hard to see that when someone has such a different view from you, right? But we're all a part of this earth together. We all live here, you know, meaning that we're all one consciousness. And so with that being said, you know, that's going to be the 5 things that they don't want you to know. Like I said before, you can say that they, meaning the government, aka governs our mental state of consciousness, right? Governing our state of consciousness, our mental health, our mental well-being. Anyways, just a conspiracy theory, right? You don't have to believe me. Just a conspiracy theory. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. We're coming upon like the 20-minute mark, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or if you just want to say hi, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I respond to every single comment. I will make sure to get back to you, and hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night, wherever you're at, and peace, love, and happiness.